Two-factor with SimplePractice. I'm going to show you the authentication app version, and I'm going to show you how fast it goes to set it up, and then I'm going to show you the details of setting it up. So let's go ahead and go to the screen. All right, we're setting up right here. I'm on mine live, two-step verification, set it up. There we go. I got to put in my password there. Okay, I'm going to use the authentication app. Next, there is my code. I'm going to start with YubiKey. So I'm going to add an account, scan the QR code. It finds it automatically. See, look at this. See the DYYU? That's the same code. It found it. I'll leave all these settings the same. Save. Now I'm going to set up another one. So I'm going to set up two of them. Here we go. This is the Thetis. I'm going to set up this one. I'm going to name it SimplePractice. This one did not read the QR key on the computer screen. If I use the, I got to copy and paste this long thing here. If I'm using the phone app for this, then I just hold it up with the camera. But for the computer screen, I copy and paste it, leave all those settings, add. There we go. I'm going to do one more. And, oh, I'm even locked my phone here. Am I under 2 minutes on this? All right, I've got the Google Authenticator app on my phone. Scan a QR code and go to QR. Boom, that is set. And then the next thing, I'm not done yet. I have to do this on SimplePractice. So I go to next, and I need the code. Now, YubiKey, there it is, 147, 147. I don't know if you can see that one. All the codes are the same. All three devices have the same code. So let me put that in 147. There we go. Don't tell my code. The code's in 20 seconds. The code disappears and it's going to be useless to people after that. All right. Setup is complete. And I'm going to call this one out. The email backup. I leave that on. I'll go into a little bit there. But I'm all done. What is that, 2 minutes? And I didn't set up one. I set up 3 Authenticator apps. You can set up 1, 2. You can set up a lot of them if you want to. I wouldn't do a lot of them. But that's important. Okay, so let me get to the big screen here and show you the details of it. And start from the beginning. There we go. All right. The type of Authenticator app thing that we're using is called OTP, or one-time password, or time-based OTP, TOTP. And then we have the texting code option. Text does work. I use it for a lot of things because that's all some of my accounts have. And sometimes it's slow, but usually it's not. SimplePractice, when they first rolled this out a month or two ago, I know it says last month, there was some complaints that it was 15 minutes slow, but I think that I'm really, have faith in them that they're going to have the priority of it. And because they're good at it with the email password, getting clients logged into their stuff, but definitely choose the email backup. One thing about the texting thing I'll mention, if I'm doing texting and my phone falls in a mud puddle, I can't get my text. I'm out. I can't do telehealth, can't do, look up client phone numbers, for a group practice, you can't get things to pay people, stuff like that. So email backup, very important on that. Is it a teensy bit less secure? Yeah. But is it way more secure than just the passwords I've been using? Yeah. And note the line at the bottom there. Even if you're in a group practice, if a group member can't get their two-factor thing working for some reason and they don't have the email backup, the group practice owner can't get you in. Looking at the admin login account, there's maybe they'll build that in later, but right now, only SimplePractice can get each individual person in, and the group owner is not able to modify things and that kind of stuff. All right, but back to the Authenticator apps. There's 3 types of them. You saw how quick it was. Boom. So there's 3 types. Number 1 is the phone app. I used Google Authenticator. It works really well. One thing about Google Authenticator, the code, the 6 digits, is generated on the phone. I don't have to wait for a text message. I don't have to have an internet connection. It just works as long as my phone's on, right? So it always works with that. And Google Authenticator is not the only one. There's another 10 or 15 types of apps that do it. I would personally probably go toward one that's called open source because they'd be less apt to collect your data. They don't collect secret data, but they collect stuff about you. I mean, we're getting that all over the time. But anyway, Google Authenticator is one of the many types of apps where it's just on the app. The second kind is what I set up here, and these are, they're called tokens. It looks like a USB key or a USB drive. This one here, I've got 3 of them. I'm going to put them on my fingers. This is another one, and this one. And you get different types. Now, these got a USB plug on them. I can plug them into my PC, Mac or Windows, and I can get the code on the screen. Real easy for copying and pasting. You don't have to actually manually type it. You can copy and paste the code. It's pretty cool. Another thing that we can do with these is many of them have what's called NFC, Near Field Communications. With NFC, I can tap it to my phone because the code lives on this little token. So if I tap it to the phone, if I don't drop it, I tap it to the upper part of the back is where most phones do it, and then the code will show up on the phone. You get, like with YubiKey, I have the YubiKey app. It shows up in there. With Thetis, I have the Thetis app. It'll show up in there, and it works just fine. Also, I don't have to have a PC to set this up at all. I can use the YubiKey app with the YubiKey device. I can tap it to that, and then I can take a picture of the QR code on that. I don't have to use a computer for any of it if I don't want to. And if you're on the go and you're doing sessions, that remote thing can be of help. You can almost last 2 more items. You can also get these with a tiny plug, like a USB-C type plug, or even the older iPhone Lightning plug, and you can plug them into your phone and get your code that way too. The last thing about these, that's probably the last thing, the code lives on this. If we lose the device, then you don't have those 6 digits other than the email backup. But like you saw me do just a moment ago, you can set up more than one device. You can leave one at home in a drawer, put one on a keychain. There's options like that. It's very secure, very secure. If you're in an office, one of the office personnel, and you're doing on the keyboard all day long, plugging this into the computer is so easy because your hands are just right there. You don't have to go to your phone and back and forth. Also, YubiKey makes a stubby one of these. It's very small, and it's very stubby where you can plug it into your laptop and leave it there. Now, what if someone steals this device and something like that? The Thetis does not have a PIN code on it that I can tell. I'll have to look at it. YubiKey does. You can set up a PIN code where if I move this from computer to computer or phone to phone, I have to first put in a PIN code of that I choose, and then I get my 6 digits list. It just depends on how secure you want to go. You don't have to do that. These will also do more accounts. Like if I'm using this for SimplePractice, I can use it for a bank. I can use it for, I can set up my personal Gmail with it, Facebook and Instagram and whatever things that do the 6-digit things or different types. It'll also do more than just the OTPs. I know I'm selling them now, but I think this one will do 50 different accounts that you may have. And I think this one does 50 as well. I'm just using it for SimplePractice at the moment. But it does work real well. But let's look at a few details that went through. You can stop the video right here and just replay the fast setup, but I'll show you the screens. Here we go. Setting up in SimplePractice. This is the main page. I go to settings. I get this. These screenshots are from SimplePractice himself. I go to security page, setup buttons down in the corner. I get the magic QR code. And again, if you got the phone, you take a picture of it. If you're using the PC version, you might have to copy and paste that on there. Although YubiKey read that QR code from across the screen. That was cool. Next, it verifies that I have the right code. So then I look at the 6 digits I'm getting, and it says, okay, we have a match. Because if it didn't have a match, then it knew it didn't work. And this is a screenshot of my devices that I did. I did this one about 10 minutes ago. So again, I have YubiKey, Thetis, and Google. And notice they're all the same code. They don't connect to the internet. They all use this internal math to get the same code every time. And that's how that works. And then last, you get to the final page that it is set up. Last chance, I'm going to say this at the bottom of the page. There we are, email backup. I recommend an email backup for getting in. which means you got to protect the email, because if someone gets to your email, then they can get into SimplePractice. I know it's a big circle light type thing. Anyway, I hope that helps for the authentication app. I know I had last thing, YubiKey. I'm going to hop back out of this here. Let's see. There we go. YubiKey. This one's not cheap. There we go. $50. It was kind of pricey. They have some that are, you know, 60 or depending on whatever price they are. I went looking for some that were cheaper. The Thetis was $30 when I picked it up. A little more digestible for, and then last, this one, the Identiv. This was only $18, but the type of technology that it uses, it looks very, very similar. There is almost no documentation. I tried a long time trying to get this. I could not get it to work with SimplePractice. The Identiv FIDO 2 NFC, I could not get it to work. It was, so I don't recommend this one. The $50 YubiKey, it actually is the easiest one by far. It is a little bit easier. Hope that helps. Or just do text messaging, that works too. Take care.